In today's video, we're going to talk about New York City. So if you want to know how safe is it, where to stay, transportation, the best things to do here, a little bit of the nightlife, and most importantly, how much money should you bring and how many days should you stay. So this travel guide is intended to save you time and money. Without further ado, let's jump into the intro. Hey, what is going on, YouTube family? My name is Anthony Llanos. For the ones that don't know me, I do videos like this, helping you saving time and money whenever you're going to travel to a different country or different location. Before actually covering all these topics, I actually want to elaborate a little bit more in why you should watch this video. So I've been living in New York City for 7+ years. So in this time, I've been able to experience a lot of places, a lot of things to do here, the nightlife, the daytime, meeting a lot of people. I'm going to cover some of the places very common, like the Empire State Building, like Central Park, Times Square. But I'm gonna show you even better places, like in case that you want to go skydiving, you want to go rock climbing, and many topics like this. So now let's talk about how safe is New York City. And like I mentioned before, I've been living here for 7 years, and I just gotta tell you that New York City is pretty safe. I wouldn't say like it's the safest place I've ever been, but on a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being the most dangerous and 10 being the most safe, I gotta say that New York City is like a 8 or 9. And why do I say it's 8 or 9? Because I mean, there's gonna be some places that are gonna be dangerous in New York City, but like I said, in the 7+ years that I've been living here, I never had a fight with anyone. I never had trouble in the trains with anyone. Maybe one person that I can remember. I have to say that is pretty safe. So now that you know about how safe is New York City, let's talk about where to stay. So depending on what is going to be your budget whenever you're going to come here, there are going to be different places that you can go. So if money is not an issue for you, you can stay near 42nd Street, which is going to be Times Square. Even though I mentioned Times Square as a location that you can stay, or as an area that you can stay, which is going to be right here, as you can see, the thing about Times Square, that is going to be a very busy street. So you're gonna find a lot of people. The good thing about Times Square, that is gonna be pretty much close to the subway. It's gonna be close to like restaurants, stores, some of the things that you can do, like attractions in Times Square and such a thing. So if that's basically something that you want, you can definitely stay in Times Square. Now, let me give you another location that you can take a look at so you can stay in case that you don't like something as busy as Times Square. So you can definitely go down here, which is going to be around 33rd Street, which is going to be close to the Empire State Building. It's still, you're going to find some people. It's going to be like crowded as well, but it's not going to be as crowded as the Times Square. So if you want something less crowded, you can go a little bit down, which is going to be between Union Square, like around this area. And this area is going to be really nice because you're going to find some attractions around the area, but it's not as crowded as Times Square or 34th Street. So now, let's say if you want something calmer and you don't want something like as busy as those 3 places that I mentioned before, you can now head all the way down to Soho right here, which is going to be Lower Manhattan. What I really like about Soho is the infrastructures, like the buildings. There are going to be some things to do that I'm going to mention later in the video, but this is going to be some areas that you can stay. Now let's talk about the prices that you're going to be expecting to pay around this area. So let's say if you want to stay in Times Square, which is all the way up around this area in 42nd Street, usually if you want to rent a room, like the prices will go between $100 all the way to $200, depending on the platform that you want to reserve your room or like stay. What I say that I'm gonna elaborate that a little bit later, but the prices are gonna be a little bit more expensive than that. So $100, $200, $300, and then you're gonna find like different rooms around that price. Same thing goes for the 34th Street, 14 Union Square, and Soho. So the prices are gonna be a little bit pricey on that sense. And like I said, it depends on the platforms that you're gonna be using. So if you're gonna be using platforms like like Airbnb. And as you can see, I was doing some homework, so you can see what I'm trying to say. So you're gonna find rooms. It's not like a complete like an apartment. It's not gonna be. Some of them are not gonna be completely like a private, but you can definitely read the details if that's something that you want. If you don't really care about privacy, you just wanna have a little room. You don't mind sharing the bathroom. You can definitely check these places, and the prices go between $48 if you decide to get an Airbnb in Manhattan. Like that could be in 42nd Street, 34th Street, or wherever you decide to stay. If you decide to get a hotel, as you can see, the prices are going to be a little bit more expensive. The platforms that I used is Airbnb. I love Airbnb because it's really cheap and you get some really nice rooms. The customer service is amazing, and if you want to get a discount, make sure to check the links down below. I think they're gonna get you $40 off in your first stay in Airbnb, so you're gonna save some money in case that you want to stay 7 days plus. And also you can use a booking.com, but like I mentioned, it's gonna be a little bit more expensive, so it's completely up to you. What do you wanna Where do you want to stay? And also make sure to check booking.com, because down there you're going to also find a link in the description that is going to provide you with a discount, so you don't have to pay full price. If in case that you never use this platform, you're going to get you're actually going to get cheaper prices if you decide to use this platform versus calling the hotel or using like the website's hotel to book your stay. So make sure to use this platforms. And okay, so now let's talk about, let's say you don't want to stay in Manhattan because maybe it's not the best of your interest, and you say like, okay, it's just always busy, I want to try something different. You can definitely stay outside of that. You can go to Queens, New York, which is going to be on this side right here, all this section, or you can actually stay in Brooklyn, which I definitely recommend you to do it. Try to stay around this area, because why I like this area, because it's really quiet. It is busy when it has to be busy. What I mean by that is when people are going to work. And what I really like is that you can definitely find some really nice places around this area. Definitely stay around Williamsburg, around this area. It's really safe, it's beautiful, you find a lot of people as well as tourists. It's not as crowded as in Times Square, so it's more of like a zone that you can just go there. You can see the view to the city, you can go outside, and they also gonna have some really good activities that you probably not gonna find in Times Square. The thing about this is if you decide to stay in Brooklyn or Queens, the cost of food, the cost of living is gonna be less than than if you decide to stay in there. So the rooms are gonna be a little bit cheaper than if you decide to stay in Manhattan. So make sure to check on those if you decide to stay in Queens. I personally prefer Brooklyn over Queens because right here you start in the Queens area, but for some reason these places are really expensive and they're really far from the subway, some of them. So I will definitely recommend you to stay around this area in Williamsburg if you don't decide to stay in Manhattan. Okay, guys, so now that you know about how safe is New York City, where to stay, let's talk about transportation. I think the biggest tip that I can give you is that don't try to rent a car in New York City because it's going to be a very congested area. For instance, I will definitely recommend you that if you're traveling somewhere and you still want to travel via car, I will recommend you to download the apps, which is going to be Uber and Lyft. Why these two apps? Because those are going to be, for the ones that don't know these two apps, I'm sure you know them, but it's pretty much easy to navigate with them because you can use your phone to just call an Uber, you can call a Lyft, and the prices are going to be like decently, I would say, not too cheap, not too expensive, but definitely is going to be a way that you can travel around. Just keep in mind, in New York City, especially in rush hours, like I would say between like the morning time, whenever gonna be people going to work, that's gonna be from Monday through Friday. You're gonna see a lot of people traveling through from Queens to Manhattan, from Brooklyn to Manhattan, and vice versa to different places. So make sure to take that in consideration whenever you're gonna be renting a car in case that you do it, or whenever you're gonna be like downloading the app, which is going to be Uber or Lyft. That those apps, it will save you some time, but just take that in consideration. Personally speaking, I like to travel in via train. Why do I want to travel via train? Because it's pretty easy. You don't have to wait for anyone. You don't have to be stuck in traffic. I mean, the subway, sometimes in time you're gonna get stuck in the train, but that's basically maybe like twice a month or something like that. Like the trains in New York City are pretty reliable, and I would definitely recommend you to get an unlimited Metro card, because if you're gonna be traveling for 1 week within a New York City, you're gonna need the train, you're gonna need the buses, and the unlimited Metro cards in 2019. They're only gonna cost you like $33. And if you're gonna be traveling to one location, it's gonna cost you around $2.75 as of today. I know every year is gonna keep increasing, but if you're gonna be paying $2.75 to go to one place and then coming back from that place, you're already spending like almost $6. So instead of you spending $6 for 2 trips, you can actually get a weekly Metro card, which is gonna cost you, like I say, like between like $33. I think it's gonna be more later on, but definitely get an unlimited Metro card, because it's gonna save you time and it's going to save you some money. And if you want to get more information about the train station, I actually created a video, and you're going to be able to see a card, like a something popping up from here, that you're going to be able to click it, and you can find more information related to the subway, in case that you want to know how to use the map for moving one location to another location. That video is going to help you a lot, so make sure to check it out. So now that you know about transportation, let's talk about the things to do in New York. I'm gonna talk about Manhattan, Brooklyn, and Queens, but there are gonna be some places that you can go outside of New York City that I can definitely recommend you, especially if you come in like certain parts of the year. So some of the places that you can go in Manhattan, I'm gonna start with the common ones. That is gonna be Times Square. So if you're gonna go to Times Square, what can you find in there? First of all, you're gonna find a lot of people. You're gonna find like a lot of screens that you're gonna see on the buildings of some companies doing marketing, and I think it's famous because it looks, even though like people are advertising on the screens, it looks really interesting. It looks very like wow opening, like eyes opening. Like you see them, and you see all these big buildings with a lot of people. You're gonna see some characters on the street, like Elmo, like Captain America. You're gonna find like Transformers, so you can take pictures with them. And make sure that whenever if they're gonna approach you and say, okay, picture, make sure that you actually have the money to pay them, because they don't do it for free. That's gonna be one big tip for you. And also, if you're gonna be lucky, you're gonna be able to find this famous cowboy that's been like all over the news, all over the social media, and this is one of the most famous characters here in Times Square. So if you find the cowboy, make sure to take a picture with him. Right there in Times Square, you're also gonna find a bunch of stores, clothing stores like H&M. You're gonna find restaurants like Red Lobster, Applebee's, many places. And even if you want to, you can actually go to the movies. AMC, they're gonna have all these locations in 42nd Street. So make sure to check them out. And I just gotta say that anything that you're gonna get in Times Square is gonna be a little bit more expensive than what you would usually pay in a place like Queens or Brooklyn. In terms of food, clothing is pretty much the same, but definitely anything that you're gonna find in there is gonna be a little bit more pricey than in other locations in New York City. So once you check the locations, you can definitely go to this place, which is gonna be called the Stairs of Times Square. The Stairs of Times Square, for the ones that don't know, this is a famous place, especially it became even more famous than it is because I don't know if you remember Alicia Keys with Jay-Z, where they're singing this song. I forgot the name of it. It's called In New York, and they have a scene where they're singing right there in the red stairs that you're gonna be going and taking some pictures. So definitely do that. It's definitely a nice place that you can experiment, especially if you're coming to New York. Times Square is gonna be one of those things that you can do. And around the stairs you can find a ticket booth where you can buy tickets for the Broadway shows. It's definitely something that you should do here in Times Square, and here you can find the times that they're gonna be performing, and as well you can find the tickets at a very discounted price. I'm saying between 20, 30 up to 50% off than the regular price that you can get it on the website. So now you went to Times Square, you went to the Empire State Building, and another place that you can go is going to be to the Central Park. The Central Park Park is a very nice place, especially in summertime. I wouldn't say it's the best in the wintertime because it's gonna be really cold. So it's a park that you can go to do a lot of activities. Some of the activities that you can do inside of Central Park is basically you can visit a zoo. They're gonna have the Central Park Zoo inside of there, and also you can go and rent some boats. So this is the best activity that I can tell you that you can do there, because it's beautiful, the amount the views that you're gonna get there, and it's really cheap. So if you want to rent a boat for 1 hour, for what I remember when I rented it, it was around like $15 per hour, and you can actually get 4 people in there. So it's really cheap. And also you can actually rent bicycles, you can rent different activities, like you can go in a horse, a back ride, no, horse, and I think it's called a carousel. It's not horseback riding. A guy actually is gonna give you this service. The price of these services I would say is ridiculous high, and it's not even like the best experience. Personally, I would say like just rent a bicycle outside of the Central Park. I'm gonna show you the location where they are renting this bicycle, so you can actually go like around Central Park, go inside Central Park, and it's personally even more fun than just renting a carousel where the horse is gonna give you a ride. I personally don't like that, and instead of you getting other people to ride you on a bicycle and paying $40, $50, $60, $70 just for like half an hour, and definitely say like rent a bicycle by yourself and then have this fun experience inside of Central Park. And also a similar park to Central Park is gonna be Bryant Park. Why do I like this place? Because sometimes on the summertime or in the winter time, let's say you're gonna come in the summertime, they're gonna have some live events like dancing, they're gonna have movie nights in this specific location. And also if it's gonna be the winter time, you can actually go skiing on here. So if you wanna come here to ski, be expected to pay between $20 for the entrance and getting the shoes. I would say a total of $30 with the shoes and the access to the ice skating spot. So it's definitely a good place. Around the area you can find also some really good souvenirs in case that you want to buy something to go back to your country or back to your home, and definitely a place that you should visit. Also around Bryant Park you're gonna be able to find this, which is gonna be the Grand Central Station. Why do I recommend visiting this place? It's a really old school a station here that has been preserved for years, so definitely come visit it out. I'll definitely say that the infrastructure, the way that this is being preserved, the amount of people, you're gonna see a lot of tourists around the area, and you're gonna find the Apple store around here. So in case that you want to check the Apple store, I just gotta say it's an interesting place and one of the least that you should come visit. And between Bryant Park and Central Park you're gonna be able to find this place which is called the Fifth Avenue. So the Fifth Avenue is an entire street full of clothing stores, and not any clothing stores. You're gonna find the most expensive clothing stores in New York that are gonna be located here, like Rolex, like Gucci, like Versace. So many brands that you can imagine, you're gonna find them here. From the Fifth Avenue or Central Park all the way to the west of Manhattan, you're gonna be able to find the U.S. Navy SEAL boat, or most people call it the Intrepid. You can find things like airplanes, tanks, submarines, and it's pretty interesting. And if you want to find more information about this place, which is going to be the U.S. Navy SEAL, which is called the Intrepid, definitely click the link on this. It's going to be on my site. I also made a video about this place, talking a little bit about the history, the best hours to go, etc. And don't forget, like, it's not only going to be here, so you don't need to click outside of this video to watch it. So make sure to look on the description or look in the comment section. I'm gonna put the links to the different places that I went and actually made a video about it. So don't forget to do that, okay? So now that you went to the Intrepid, there are gonna be some places that you can visit outside of the Intrepid. So we have a lot of activities that we can do in Manhattan, and I hope I'm covering all of them. I'm just going from the top of my head the things that you can do, and without forgetting that you can also visit which is called the Statue of Liberty. So the Statue of Liberty is a very iconic place. I can definitely recommend you to watch the other video that I created about the Statue of Liberty, which is gonna be right here. And don't forget that you can always check it in the description, because I want to give you all the details. I'm kind of like your tour guide in here. So you're gonna find in those videos more in deep detail that is gonna be able to save you some time. Some of the details that I can give you, so in case that you don't want to check those videos, which is fine, is that make sure to reserve your tickets in advance. I would say at least 1 to 2, 3 months, because those tickets for the Statue of Liberty are gonna sell out really fast. Make sure to do it on the website so you can buy your tickets, and you're gonna have access to the Statue of Liberty. Getting there is not gonna be complicated. If you do check the video that about how to get to the Statue of Liberty, that is gonna be down in the description. That video is gonna explain you from point A to point Z, the history. It's definitely a fun video that I created. It's really interactive. I'm walking you. I'm actually going to the Statue of Liberty for my first time, so I definitely show you everything that you need to know about that. From the Statue of Liberty, you're gonna get a combo pass. A combo pass means that whenever you're gonna buy the ticket for the Statue of Liberty, they're also gonna take you to the Ellis Island. The Ellis Island is a very famous place, in case that you haven't watched The Hitch. Why The Hitch? Is because they actually go to this place, and they actually mention something really unique about this, is that most people that actually reside in New York, they have never visited the Statue of Liberty or the Ellis Island. The Ellis Island is a famous island because there a bunch of immigrants actually were unloaded from the boats. So it's a really interesting story. In the same video that I told you that you can watch it, you're also gonna find a little bit of the history of the Ellis Island. So moving on. So now that you know about some of the places that you can go on the upper side, in the lower side, let's talk about a little bit more of some of the monuments that you can visit on Manhattan. Some of those monuments are gonna be the Bull of Wall Street. And the Bull of Wall Street is a very iconic place in many movies. Like even The Hitch, they actually have a scene where somebody's coming out from the bull. So definitely check that bull out, take some pictures. Whenever you're going to the bull, make sure to come a little bit early in the morning, because what happens is that a lot of people you're gonna be seeing there taking pictures. So if you want to take some pictures alone without tourists interrupting you, definitely come early in the morning, or I would say like really late at night. Because you're gonna find a lot of people in there. Around the bull, you're gonna find places like the Wall Street. So if you don't know, the Wall Street is a really famous place. Is where the Federal Reserve Bank of the United States is located. For the ones that don't know what is the Federal Reserve Bank, it's kind of like the main bank of the United States. So definitely check those places out. Another place that you can check is gonna be this one, the Oculus. So take a look at that. I think this view is beautiful. So you should come, because inside of this is gonna be a mall. So you can find stores like Apple. You can find like clothing stores like Gucci and many more. Check it out. And plus the view inside of the mall is beautiful. Let's go. So if you're gonna come here, there's gonna be not only this monument, this kind of like mall, you're also gonna find the 9/11 memorial. So in case that you want to take a look at that, so it's literally next door. And some tips that I can give you when coming to the 9/11 memorial is gonna be that don't come in the winter time when it's gonna be really cold, because believe me, it is gonna get really cold. And try to come, like I would say, between in the morning time and before 5 p.m. because otherwise it's gonna be really dark, and it's really hard to see the majestic view that you can get from the 9/11 memorial. Around the area, you can also find places like the Chinatown. The Chinatown is a really amazing place because you're gonna get a mixture of all the cultures, because in Chinatown you can find a significant variety of food that you will not be able to find in different places in New York. Actually, the food in there is a little bit cheap. You're gonna find definitely some interesting foods that you can say, wow, like Asians definitely eat different food. Not to sound anything like bad or anything, but the food, some of the food is good. I actually tried myself. Some of the food I didn't like as much. And if you want to know more information about Chinatown and the places that to visit, some restaurants that I can recommend you, inside of the description you're also gonna find a video so you can check it out, because I don't want this video to be long. By itself is gonna be long. So once you visit Chinatown, you're gonna be able to find another place that is gonna be the Little Italy. Little Italy It's really famous here in New York City, and you can definitely visit all the graffiti around the area. It's definitely interesting place that you should visit in. And I'm gonna name a couple of places that you can go in Manhattan before moving to Brooklyn, and this one will be 34th Street. What can you find in here? It's gonna be pretty similar like Times Square. I'm gonna say you find a lot of malls, you find a lot of clothing stores, restaurants. You're gonna have some parks in 34th Street that you can just sit, enjoy all the big screens that you're gonna find around the area. But overall, I would say that 42nd Street is a little bit better. 34th Street is pretty much the same setting, but a difference between 42nd Street and 34th Street is that here you'll find one of the best salsa schools that you can find in New York. And why do I say that? So if you don't know what is salsa, is a very popular Latin dance around the world. I would say not only in South America, but I would say also international as well. So if you ever heard about salsa and you wanted to learn but you don't know where, Manhattan and Joel Salsa School is going to be one of the best places that you can go and learn salsa. I gotta tell you that I've been in different countries, and by far this is the one of the best salsa schools that they have. They teach you everything. They are friendly. It's a really nice location, especially if you are a beginner, if you want to learn salsa. So make sure to visit the classes, Joel Salsa School. And also, if you want to get a discount, I actually work with him, and also he decided to give us a discount. So if you want to go to the school and you want to try their classes, and make sure to say in the door or mention my name, Anthony, and they're gonna give you a 25% off from your first package of classes. And they're gonna be opening from Monday through Thursday from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. So make sure to take those classes. You're gonna find a lot of people. So if you want to socialize with some people from New York, this is going to be the best places to do, because you can actually meet a lot of people from New York that you most likely after the classes you can just go out, hang out, and I'm pretty sure you're going to have a really good time. If you don't have the time to learn it, if you don't have the time to go to school, they also offer some online classes that you can try them. So I'm going to leave the links in the description so you can take advantage of those discounts in case that you want to learn in the comfort of your home. And moving on to the next place. So the next place is going to be 14 Union Square. So what is 14 Union Square? It's pretty similar to Times Square and 34th Street. I would say that the setting is the same. You're gonna find a lot of like shopping centers. You're gonna find like clothing stores. Like it's pretty similar. I would say the difference will be is that the things around 14 Union Square are gonna be a little bit cheaper compared to the ones in Times Square or 34th Street. And around the area you can find restaurants, you can find a lot of bars, and that's one of the best things about 14 Union Square, that you can find some bars around the area that you can go in the nighttime. They will have performances on the streets as well, so it's pretty good. It's a really nice settings. And one of the things I would say that is more remarkable about this area is that the clock that you're gonna see on top, and this clock is above Best Buy, so definitely take a look at it. Basically what it means is just the hour, and it's pretty good. Like it's a really nice area that you can go visit. And if you're gonna be really close to the 14 Union Square, might as well you can also visit the Museum of Illusions. I have to say this is one of the most interesting places that I visited here in New York City. The price for this is only $20 per person if you decide to come to this museum. I have to say that you need to come prepared, because you probably gonna get dizzy of all the things that you're gonna be doing in here. Some of the things I really find interesting is something like this wall that you can see, like the figures look small on one side and the other side looks so big. I have to say that it was quite an experience and it was a lot of fun. So definitely come here. Some of the recommendations that I can give you is try to come here in the week, because on the weekend you're gonna find a lot of people, tourists, people from New York, so it's gonna be really crowded. Make sure to come, I would say between like 10 and you can come before 5. This place is a hidden gem that you're probably not gonna be able to see or to hear a lot of tourists talking about it. So make sure to come here. Like I said, it's gonna be a fun experience for you. And last but not least, you can visit the Washington Square Park. And I really like this park because you can just come here down and just chill with your girlfriend and boyfriend. You can sit around the stairs so you can see on there. And it's definitely a really nice place with a lot of performers around the area. Okay, so now that we cover all the places in Manhattan, let's talk about some of the places that you can visit in Brooklyn. So if you're gonna be in Manhattan and you wanna go to Brooklyn, might as well you can go and visit, which is gonna be called the Brooklyn Bridge. So the Brooklyn Bridge is a very, very iconic monument. It's beautiful. I think this is a place that you should definitely come and visit, especially if you're gonna stay in New York for like 7 days or 14 days. You can go rent a bicycle if you want to go through the Brooklyn Bridge. It's completely up to you. Personally speaking, I would say walking is the best. You can get the best out of it because you can take some pictures on the way, some videos. It's definitely a nice experience if you just want to stay there, chill. They're gonna have some benches in there, so if you want to see. And the next place that you should go is going to be literally next to the Brooklyn Bridge. This is called the Brooklyn Bridge Pier Park 1. And what can you find in here? So astonishing views. You can see the city from here, so you can see Manhattan all the way from this section. And the best thing is, I would say, taking pictures, videos, and especially if it's gonna be a sunny day, you can definitely have a good time with your family. You can come here, just chill on the benches, as you can see behind me. You can have an awesome view of the Brooklyn Bridge from this section. And I would say you gotta have some money because the restaurants in here, like food, anything that you can do around the area is gonna be a little bit expensive. So that's one of the key points that you should take away from these tips that I'm giving you right now. But overall, I would say it has a really nice view from all the way down here. So once you get to Brooklyn, some of the places that you can visit in Brooklyn, in case that you want to do some sports, there's gonna be one place which is called the Brooklyn Boulders. Is a place that you can go wall climbing. And why do I recommend this place? Because it's a fun activity that you can do. And the other day I went with my mom because it was her birthday, and I have to say that the experience is good. Maybe if you're not like a rock climber, wall climber, I would say like one experience is enough. The cost for the tickets is gonna be around $34 per person. Is definitely a little bit expensive. I would say an activity that you should do, especially once in your life. Is definitely, I would say, is fun. Is definitely challenging. It doesn't challenge you only mentally, but it challenges you physically, because sometimes your arms wanna give up, your feet want to give up, but you're gonna fall, so you don't want to. And I would say it's a really nice experience that you're gonna do in there. The next place that you can go, in case you want to experience a little bit of the nature, is gonna be called the Brooklyn Botanical Garden. The Brooklyn Botanical Garden is beautiful, especially if you're gonna go in springtime or whenever, like in the time where the flowers start to flourish, like the trees already have some leaves. Is a beautiful place. Why do I recommend this place? Because they have different locations to different themes, like Asian themes, like a regular theme. They explain you a little bit of the history of the plants. It's not that expensive. The price for the botanical garden is around $15, if I'm not mistaken. Like, cannot recall it from the top of my head, because the last time we went, it was like a year ago. Outside of the Brooklyn Botanical Garden, you can rent some toys in case that you wanna do some mini kart races. It's gonna be located in Prospect Park, in case that you wanna have some fun in there. And next to these places, you're gonna find the Brooklyn Museum. If you are a fan of the Brooklyn Museums, definitely check it out. Because of the structures, the way that this museum is built is beautiful. From time to time, they're gonna have some live events in case that you wanna go dancing inside of there. It's definitely a fun experience. And most importantly, most of the things that you're gonna do in the Brooklyn Museum is gonna be free, so you don't have to pay for the entrance. I mean, you can collaborate with some tips, but it's completely up to you. I'll definitely encourage you to do give some tips to the people in there. Okay, so let's say maybe you come in the time of the year that like it's gonna be sunny, it's gonna be hot, it's gonna be summertime. You came to New York City, you can definitely head out to the Coney Island Beach. This is a very famous place, so you're gonna find a lot of people in this beach. Personally, I would say it's not the cleanest, but you're gonna find some fun activities to do. Like, you're gonna have roller coasters, different games that you can play in there. it is fun in that case, but personally speaking, it's a little bit dirty. So if you wanna visit a place, if you want to visit a beach that is really clean, is not that many people, that you want to go and enjoy time with your family, definitely go to the Rockaway Beach. Clean, less people, you're gonna find some activities to do. You can rent bicycles around the area, so if you want to just have some exercise. So now that we have the beach side, some of the places that you're probably not gonna be able to find in any place on Google, I mean, you can find them, but they don't have that many visits. But personally, I think it's a place that you should visit. It's beautiful. It's next to the Williamsburg Bridge. This place is kind of like a hidden place. You can go there and just sit next to the rock, next to the water. You can just go with your family. It's a really nice time. I've seen some people getting engaged in there, and you're gonna have a nice view to the city, to Manhattan, so, and to the bridge as well. Definitely go and visit this. Around the area, you can find also in this place is going to be called Williamsburg, so that's going to be the zone that in case that you want to look it up. And inside of Williamsburg, I'm gonna cover that later on, but you're gonna find a bunch of like little bars, disco, like clubs, things to do in the nightlife. So you definitely gonna find a lot of people around the area. But in this place, it's kind of like hidden, so not that many people go in there. But before getting to that place, you're gonna find a bunch of bars. So I'm gonna cover that later on in the video in the nightlife section. But visit this place, is beautiful. So that's gonna be it for Brooklyn. In Queens, personally, I live in Queens for like 2 years. I just gotta say, like, there's not gonna be that many things to do in Queens, personally speaking. Why do I say personally speaking? Because that's my personal opinion. I don't want you to say, okay, like, this is what most people said. I'm just saying, like, I experienced it and I didn't like it as much. So if you want to visit one, is like some of the places I can definitely tell you in Queens is gonna be the Flushing Meadow Parks. And I gotta say that if you go on Google and you type the same address, you're gonna see this picture. Personally, is really deceiving. When we got there, it wasn't like a quite disappointment, but it didn't look the same. We went there like around like fall time, like winter time, so it was pretty like not alive, as you can see in the picture. But you can find some fun activities like cars. You can rent them, go around the area, and just have a good time. If you want to go here, I will definitely recommend you to go in the summertime, so you're gonna have more activities to do around there, and it looks more beautiful. Okay guys, so that's gonna be everything for Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens. So now let's talk about a little bit outside of this area, in case that you want to visit like different locations, a little bit of the mountains. I would say, if you ask me some tips to get into these places, you will need to have a car. In case that you didn't rent a car because of the tips I gave you, but you still want to get to this place, I can tell you that you can use a company that's called Turo.com. Turo.com is a company that is going to rent you cars at a very, very affordable price. You can find cars between $30 up to like $100-$200, depending on how much money do you want to spend. But I will say, in my personal experience, they are going to be really cheap compared to many other companies. Turo is going to be an app I would say is really similar to Airbnb. In case that you are familiar with Airbnb, is an app that you download to your phone. You pick the car that you want to, you pick the zone that you're going to be located on. You're going to rent the car, and then you can go to any of these places that I'm going to mention right now. And just before I forget, you can actually get a discount if you use the link down in the description that I'm going to provide to you. So make sure to use that link so you can get a discount. I think you're going to get like $30 off in your first car. So if you rent a car for like 1 or 2 days, you're gonna be able to save like $30-$40. So I'm actually saving some money with that link. So make sure to check it out. It's gonna be in the description. Okay, so now let's say you rented the car and you want to go outside. There's gonna be a place that you can do some skydiving in case that you wanna do it. It's not cheap. It's a little bit pricey. It's called the Sky Ranch. So the prices to do skydiving around this area is gonna be between $300 up to $350, depending if you want photography, video. It's definitely an activity that you should do once in your life. Check it out. It's beautiful. It's one of the best activities that I personally did in my life. So if you went to this place, another place that you can go in New York is gonna be to the Catskills. So for the ones that don't know what is the Catskills, so the Catskills is gonna be located, is a location in the mountains that you can go there and experience a little bit of waterfalls. If you want to dive, if you want to swim a little bit with nature, I would say it's a beautiful place. One of the best places I visited in here in New York. So definitely check it out. Down in the description, you're gonna find a link to this video that I created about talking about the Catskills and phone sleep, which is gonna be the place that we went and the one I'm mentioning in this video, so you can save some time. You can actually get some tips that I recommend you in terms of bringing food, cell phone coverage, parking spots, etc., etc. Definitely check those places out. Inside of New York, you're also gonna find another place which is called the Poconos. The Poconos is basically a very, very, very famous location. A lot of people are gonna go there. You're gonna find activities like water parks in case that you want to go swimming. You're gonna find like slide tubing that you're gonna get in ice. Like I said, it's definitely, I would say it's a fun activity that you can do. A little bit overpriced in my personal opinion to compare to the things that you're gonna be doing in there, but I would say it's quite an experience if you get a chance to go in there. If you want to reserve some spots in Poconos, you gotta do it, I would say, like a month in advance because it's really packed. They actually, most of the times they're gonna be sold out in case that you want to do the activities that I'm mentioning, and you gotta have some money if you want to go here. I would say I'm talking about like $600, $400 per night, because you got to stay there in the hotel, or you can just go to the activities, but still it's gonna cost you a lot of money. So that's gonna be some of the places that I can recommend you. So this is gonna conclude with the things to do in terms of the activities. So now let's move into the nightlife. The nightlife in New York is very, I would say, is very interesting because you're gonna find a bunch of cultures between Hispanics, between people born here in New York. You're gonna find a lot of Asian people, Indian people, like people from all around the world that you will never see that type of mixture in other countries. I can personally tell you that because I've been in like 10 different countries in the world, and I can tell you that it's very diverse. So I'm gonna mention some of the places that you can go in the nightlife if you want to go dancing, if you want to meet some people, in case that you came alone and you want to find some really nice places between expensive, between budget friendly. So take a look at these places. So we're gonna start with one of the most interesting places that I visited here in Brooklyn. It's gonna be Sunshine Laundromat and Cleaner, and no, it's not a laundromat. So basically, the whole concept of this place is kind of like you have access to the laundry, but if you go all the way to the back, you're gonna be able to see the bar. And why I think this is really interesting, because besides the fact that it's a bar, it's kind of like hidden in the laundromat, and inside of here you can play games like pinball, for the ones that don't know, arcade games. So it's really fun activity. There is not gonna be any entrance fee in case that you want to come here. I gotta say that the drinks are pretty cheap compared to the ones that you're gonna be able to find in Manhattan, because if you want to get a beer, you get it for like $5-6, so it's pretty cheap. And also you're gonna be able to play some games in case that you want to do it. They're gonna have a lot of games like Uno, they're gonna have like Jenga, many things to play. I just gotta say that it was a fun activity that you have to try here in Brooklyn. This next place is called Ravel Hotel Long Island City. This is gonna be located in Queens. Why do I like this place? They're gonna have some nice music like electro, house. They're also gonna have some food. It's gonna be a restaurant. But what do I like this place is because of the view to Manhattan. I really like it, although the food wasn't the best. I gotta say that the view was totally worth it. So how can we do a complete travel guide to New York without talking about this little joint in Lower East Side? This is called the Back Room. This is actually really interesting. Like we went kind of like on the basement, going down the stairs. And right now we're gonna check the bar. This is called the Back Room. So let's check it out. This is one of those places that are hidden here in New York City, so you might not be able to find a lot of tourists in here. Most likely you're gonna find a lot of people from New York. I gotta say that I really enjoyed it because this has a completely different look than most bars, and I gotta say that the things that you can find in here, like the furniture, like the way that they're gonna serve you drinks, is completely different than most bars. In this bar, they serve their drinks in a cup of tea. You might be wondering why a cup of tea. So this very bar which we're standing right now, it was a prohibition area from years ago, and the reason why they served the drinks in a cup of tea, it was kind of like a hidden way to serve their drinks, and I thought that was really interesting. I have to say that these drinks are really loaded compared to most of the drinks that you're gonna find here in New York City, that most of them are gonna be watered down. And some tips I can give you is try to bring some cash. The day that we went to this bar, they weren't accepting credit cards, so make sure to take that in account. And speaking about Lower East Side, so I'm gonna show you in the map, and the reason why I want to show you in the map, because if you are looking specifically for nightlife in New York City, I'm gonna show you kind of like not all the places, because there's so many places that you can go and visit, but I'm gonna give you the tools so you can go and find better places, the one that maybe you want something different than the ones that I'm gonna be showing you. So make sure that you're gonna check everything out on the Lower East Side. So if you go into Google Maps, you're gonna be able to type in Lower East Side in Manhattan, as you can see, and around this area, you're not only gonna find the place that I recommended you, which is gonna be the back room, but you're actually gonna find a bunch of bars around the area, restaurants. So if you want things to do in the nightlife and you wanna go between like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you wanna go out, this is gonna be the place, because you're gonna find a lot of things to do in terms of the nightlife, and you're gonna have a bunch of bars in case that you wanna go bar hopping. So this is gonna be the best tip that I can give you in terms of the nightlife in New York City. This next place is going to be one of the events that I frequent the most. This one happens around once or twice a month, so make sure to go to their website, laclavenyc.com, in order to stay updated in the latest events. And if you want to Joel Salsa to take the classes, I strongly recommend you to come here and put in practice those steps. And also the entrance is going to be $13, and it's going to be included a free class with the $13, so make sure you take advantage of that. And here you're also going to be able to find some live music, live bands from salsa bands, really popular in New York City. So, and also they're going to have performances from dancers all around the world. So for $13, I think is the best bang for your buck. And come here, you're going to have a good time. You're going to meet a lot of people from New York. And if you want to stay updated, make sure to text Salsa NY to 64600 if you live in the United States. And also you're going to get a discount if you text that number, or go to their website, laclavenyc.com. Okay, so now that you know about the nightlife, things to do, where to stay, let's talk about places to go eat. If you know me, I like a lot of food for a decent amount of price. That's basically who I am, that's basically what I like. So in this video, I'm gonna show you the places that you can go eat at a very affordable price, and you're gonna get the most, and you're gonna get a bunch of food. So take a look at these places. So we're gonna start with one of my favorite locations here in New York City. This one's gonna be located in Queens, New York. This is called Los Verdes. Los Verdes is gonna be a Colombian spot that you can definitely go eat. And most of the things that they're gonna offer in here is gonna be fast food. But what I really love about this place is gonna be the burgers. And like I told you, I love food at a very affordable price, and also that you can get the most out of it, meaning that you're gonna get a bunch of food. And this is by far one of the best burgers in the world. Yeah, I'm not even kidding, like it looks amazing. In the video you might see it as very small, but once you eat it, I'm pretty sure with one of those you can fill up to 2 people. It's really cheap. Each burger is only like $13 per burger, and it comes with a side of fries, and it's amazing. Like, I just gotta say, this is one of the best burgers. I always bring some of my friends to this spot, and they end up loving the spot because it's cheap, is delicious, and the spot is really nice. Right now you don't see many people because we came here in the morning time, but around like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 p.m. you're gonna see a lot of people. And this is basically the total of our 2 burgers, only $30, really affordable. The next location will be called El Pequeño Coffee Shop. Definitely a place that you should come. This one is gonna be an Ecuadorian restaurant, and I would say one of the best Ecuadorian foods that I ever tried is gonna be located in here. It's not only cheap, like I mentioned before, but also is really delicious. One of the places that I can definitely tell you to eat is gonna be, if you like seafood, you can eat encebollado. I'm gonna put it in the screen so you can add it, or you can ask if they have it. And also guatita is what Lucy, my girlfriend, is eating. So definitely come here. For all of the place that you saw that we ate, we spent like around $46.45. The next place on my list is gonna be El Basurero, and although I don't have that many footage of this place because it was my brother's birthday and I didn't want to film that much, so I gotta say that the environment is one of the best ones. If you go here, you're gonna feel like you're gonna be in Colombia, for real. And the amount of food that they're gonna serve you in here is actually really good for the amount of money that you're gonna be paying. Another place that you can visit is gonna be located in Brooklyn. This one's called the Bedford Restaurant. Why do I recommend this place? It's because of the very rustic look, I would say old school look, around the 60s, 70s, 80s, and I really like the environment overall. I would say that the food was decently good, and if you went to Los Verdes, I personally like more Los Verdes than this one, but I would say also that my girlfriend really liked the burgers. For some reason, she said that the meat was really tasty, everything was good in the menu, and the drinks, the french fries. So something that you can try. I just don't want to keep referring to Latin places that you can go eat. So if you want to switch things up, change things up a little bit, definitely go and visit this place. The next one on the list is going to be Bogota Latin Bistro. The reason why I really enjoy this place is because the food is really fresh. You're gonna find, like I said, food at really affordable price, and overall, the location is the perfect. It's gonna be similar to the Basurero, so you don't have to come here if you went to the Basurero. But I personally think you should try. The food was pretty good. And if you want to satisfy your craving for something sweet, you gotta visit the New Territories. So this is a little joint in Lower East Side, and definitely come here if you want to experience some of the best milkshakes and ice creams I ever tried here in Manhattan. The place is really nice, it's small, and it's really cozy. I gotta say that the staff was really nice to us, and they were kind enough to explain all the menu and the things that we should get. And he actually gave me some permission to actually film inside of there. I just have to say that they're pretty cool.
So, Mr. Grumpy, we have the roasted marshmallows forming the eyes with the Rice Krispie doing the mustache. And now we see the face of Mr. Grumpy there.
Thank you. That was
Thank you.
And as you can see, what was the total of these two?
21.
$21 just for all of this. Really interesting. So you got here Mr. Grumpy, and this one is gonna be Prince Edward. And as you can see, it looks delicious.
Milkshake.
Nice. Okay, let's eat it. Okay, we're getting almost to the end of this video, and I feel like the last two topics that I'm going to talk about is going to be very important, because if you come into New York, you may want to know how much money should you bring. So depending, and I would say my honest answer is that New York City is going to be a little bit expensive if you want to do all the activities that I show you in this video. I would personally say, Anthony, how much money should I bring? Because it seems like it's a lot of activities. It is a lot of activities, and it's going to be a lot of money. If you want to get the most out of the city, between food, staying in a hotel, and the things to do that you're going to be doing here, I would say you're going to be expecting to spend, between $200 daily. If you multiply that by 2, it's going to be like around $1,400. And that's just gonna be for one person only. So if you multiply that by 2 weeks, it's gonna be like around almost I would say $3,000 that you gotta be spending in 2 weeks. That's just basically for one person, like I said. So if you wanna bring your family, depending on the size of your family, I can say between like $9,000, $10,000 between 3-4 people. That's if you really wanna do all the things that I mentioned in this video. And keep in mind the things that I actually show you in this video and the tips that I gave you it actually saves you money. Without knowing these things, is you're gonna spend a lot more money than that. I actually save you probably like maybe $1,000, $2,000 in your next trip whenever you're gonna come to New York City. So make sure to take those tips, and I hope the video wasn't too long. So now let's talk about how many days should you stay here? It's really rough because depends in what are you trying to do. If you want to follow all the activities that I show you in this video, I would say between 7 to 2 weeks. I would say 2 weeks being the optimal. I would say 7 days being the minimal that you gotta be here in New York City if you want to experience all the activities that I show you. You're gonna have a lot to do here in New York. And well, guys, so that's gonna be everything for this video. And I completely hope that you actually got a lot of value from this video. And if you did, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, where I'm gonna be making videos about my traveling experiences. Like, what are gonna be some things that I can tell you that is gonna save you some time and money, the same way that I delivered this video to you, and any content related to traveling. So if that's something that you like, one more time, make sure to subscribe to my video, and don't forget that you're gonna find the links to the content that I mentioned in this video is gonna be in the description, so you can take a look at those, and make sure to watch all of them, especially if you're gonna go to the places that I mentioned, because it's gonna save you a lot of time. I hope that you enjoyed that, and I just want to say thank you. I'll talk to you later. Okay, peace, take care.